Well, good afternoon. My name is Joanne Lockwood. I am the founder of True Inclusion, and I'm pleased to be joined by Katie Neeves, who is the founder of Cool2BTrans, and she's going to be joining us at True Inclusion on Tuesday. So, hello, Katie.
Hi, Joe. Thanks for having me.
Brilliant. So we've known each other, probably only a couple of weeks online, and we've never met in person, but we kind of have a shared passion. So what got you into the D&I? What's your why of D&I is what I ask people.
Right. Well, for me, it started off as a bit of a business protection thing because my profession is I'm a freelance photographer and filmmaker. I've been doing that for 33 years, and I've been running my own business for 23 years now. But then last year, I came out very publicly and very openly with brands. And my business is still named after my old name, which is Martin Neeves Film. It was just one of those things that could I change my name to Katie Neeves Photography and Film? I didn't think I could, because it was one of those things that I'd been trading at that point for 22 years. I've got a great reputation, got lots of reviews, and I just thought it'd be like starting from scratch. So I thought, well, keep the name of the business the same, but the only other way is then to come out very openly and very honestly as being trans. And so that's what I did. So I made a coming out video, put that on Facebook and all my other social media, it just sort of ballooned from there, really. So I wasn't sure what the reaction would be, because my whole livelihood and reputation was resting on it. And it was incredible. I ended up with just literally hundreds of messages of support. And it just went on it just sort of snowballed, really, because I started getting picked up first of all in the local media, and then started doing interviews in local newspapers. And then it went sort of onto national newspapers and magazines and radio and television as well. So all of a sudden I've become this sort of trans ambassador, but yeah, I don't tell you about.
It's amazing what people give you, like a label or something. You could become an activist or an ambassador or something. You're now a spokesman for the entire world of trans people, aren't you?
Absolutely.
How did that happen?
I know. But it just sort of happens, doesn't it?
Have you noticed that you get treated differently as a woman? I appreciate you've only been moving away from your old life in the last few months. Have you had much experience about being treated differently yet?
Yeah, I mean, I've been living full time as female for 10 months now.
10 months, yeah.
Yeah, and I've been on HRT for 14 months now. So yeah, I've noticed. What can I say? People. I don't think people treat me with any less respect than I did before, and certainly with my work, that's just like business as usual. I mean, I was very worried when I first was going out, thinking, what sort of reaction am I going to get? Going out on a job in a dress, what's going to happen? But I just found that in general, everybody's been brilliant. So even though they obviously realised I was trans, because I've still got a deep voice, and but they were fine. They're absolutely fine with it. So from that point of view, there hasn't really been any change at all.
But what about as a woman? Have you felt any loss of male privilege? Have you the way men might treat you, the way women might treat you?
I haven't, to be honest. I know, it's something that can happen, but I certainly haven't so far.
So you've not had the door held open for you, or been passed a notepad in a meeting and asked to take the minutes or anything like that yet?
No, I have had the door held open for me, and that feels quite odd for me, because I'm still used to sort of holding doors open for women and thinking, well, actually, I should be walking through now, but that's more about me adapting to it than anybody else. And I think, well, actually, if they do that, then they're being polite. So I don't see it.
I found that quite unusual when I first transitioned to get used to being treated as a woman by other people, and it was like I was so used to holding the door open, speaking a certain way, and then suddenly there's just a slight erasure of that male privilege, or a slight casual sexism. I was like, some people would argue that open the door for a lady is casual sexism, propagating the stereotype. Some people say, I like that because it makes me feel great, and I think that's respectful.
Yeah, I think it's just a bit of an old-fashioned thing, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think it's quite nice, really. I think it's right.
I personally find it quite validating. It's kind of saying, wow, thank you, you accept me for who I am.
Exactly. I don't have a problem with it at all. I'll tell you what, one big surprise is that white van drivers stopped to let me cross the road now. Now, that never used to happen. But I tell you, when they do that, I just put my hand up and I say in my deepest voice, thanks, mate.
I like that, yeah. You say, I've made the decision not to worry about voice coaching or changing my voice. It's my voice and I like it. Have you felt the need to change your voice? Have you kind of incorporated that into your identity of this is who you are?
Yeah, it's funny, really, but by being this sort of gobby trans woman that I am, and doing all the vlogging, media stuff, everybody knows that I'm trans. I suppose just like you so you're not needing to sort of pretend or anything. You're just you. You're your authentic self. So in some way, I think, well, why should I need to change my voice in order to make other people feel okay? But I do have a bit of a hang up about my voice, in the fact that I know that it will make my life easier in the long run if I do something about it.
So if you conform to society's expectation of what a typical woman sounds like, you'll get accepted better. That's kind of the narrative, isn't it?
And I won't feel the need to maybe come out as often as I do, possibly. Because sometimes you can't be bothered to come out because it takes a bit of effort, doesn't it? And
it's exhausting. It is exhausting. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You don't just come out once; you're coming out constantly, and and I usually find most people are really, really fascinated by it. And you usually end up having nice conversations, but sometimes it can take quite a long time to do it. Jobs take longer now because you end up sort of talking about it.
You end up giving a quick trans 101 just to sort of everybody you meet. Yeah, you're in a B&B for the evening and you're teaching the person who's serving you breakfast. These are my pronouns. This is what it means. Yeah, it's kind of.
But it's all part of what we're doing, really, and I think it's a good thing. And I think if people are willing to learn, then I think that's great that we can help them with that. And because my whole thing of is to show people that trans people are just ordinary people like everybody else who want to be happy, and that's
basically it.
Yeah.
Just human beings, just like everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
So but probably the root is the conversation there is we see a lot of negative anti-trans rhetoric in the media, Twitter, certain newspapers that we won't mention because we can all guess what they are. And the Daily something or whatever, or the Sunday something else. But it's always a story about trans people, isn't it? There's always something going on that's negative. And there's often documentaries about trans people or media stories, and there's been one this week, hasn't there? The one about Martina Navratilova, about trans people in sport, and it's probably sparked up by Casa Semenya, who's not actually a trans person. She's a woman with a DSD. So that's completely different to a trans person. She's not trans, she's a woman with DSD. So we're conflating that sort of two sides of it. And this whole argument about trans women in sport is being sort of blown up, hasn't it, and debated in the public eye. And I believe you actually interviewed one of the contributors to that program, so maybe you've got a bit of insight as to the view that you had and she discussed.
Yeah, I had the great opportunity to be able to interview for one of my vlogs, Joanne Harper, who is she's a trans woman, she's an athlete, but she's also a scientist, and so she's combined all of that, and she's done a lot of research on trans women in sport. And it's just fascinating because what triggered her into doing the research is that she realised that she's a long distance runner. She noticed that as soon as, I think it was within about 3 weeks of her starting on HRT, that her run times were significantly longer. And so she just wanted to get some data on that and do study. And so it was really interesting. And So I went over and interviewed her, and she gave a very, very balanced interview. There are. I mean, basically, she sort of said that there's like pros and cons to it. There's advantages and disadvantages, and so it's not advantages and leftover like male, not malprivileged, but male muscle mass and stuff. Because although
legacy attributes, whatever you want to call them,
yeah, exactly, yeah. But the thing is, there's also disadvantages such as you lose a lot of muscle mass. Okay, probably not as much, but having said that, you're still trying to move a body in frame larger than the average woman anyway. And so it's like having a smaller engine in a bigger car, in a bigger statement. So it's that sort of analogy. So there's lots of, it was a fascinating interview. So it's on my blog.
Yeah, that resonated with me. That when she put it in that perspective, you've got an articulated lorry and you just chuck a mini engine in it, it's just not going to power that in the same way. No. And just because it's got the carrying capacity of a 16-wheeler or something, you just can't move it in the same way. It's not as maneuverable. It's not as you've got enough the same amount of torque. Yeah. Yes, you've got the leverage and the lever and the physical taking moments and force and everything. But yeah, if you haven't got the physical engine, you're not going to be able to move it, are you?
No, we used to have a Vauxhall Viva like that.
I remember the Vauxhall Vivas, blimey. Yeah, they used to break down everywhere, didn't they?
Yeah, we used to have to pedal it uphill.
Yeah. I know. You get it into first. You think I need a -1 gear to get up this hill. Yeah.
I think we're showing our age now, Jay.
Yeah, I know.
Shall we move on from that?
I used to own a Morris Minor, and my friends used to have Austin A40s, and what was the other car I had? What's the one the Roland Ratmobile? The Ford Anglia. I used to have a Ford Anglia when I was younger. Yeah, I mean it was already old when I owned it, but only 20 years old. So, it's like owning a car made in 2000 now. Is that equivalent, I suppose? Yeah.
Exactly, it's the same sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're coming on Tuesday, and you're just going to be taking part in the conversation. You're not actually leading a track as such, but you're there to add some perspective, talk to the other tracks and people attending, and try and just get some perspective from a trans view, I suppose. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I've sort of recently formed this venture called Cool2BTrans, because I wanted to show people that I'm okay about being cool about being trans. I want other people to be cool about trans people. And after I did my coming out video, I was contacted by not only lots of friends and clients with lots of support, and also some other trans people, but a lady whose son was going through gender issues when he went through puberty, and she was worried at the time that he would self-harm or he'd attempt suicide. There's so many do's, as you know. If only there was someone out there at the time to let him know that it's okay to be trans. Because it really is okay to be trans. And yet so many trans people don't know that, and they put so much pressure on themselves.
Yeah.
And so
we do internalise a lot of our own transphobia sometimes. I mean, we project our own insecurities sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just thought I've really got to do some good with this. So that's why I thought, well, I'll do all this sort of publicity, all the public speaking and media appearances, and then also do trans awareness training courses for organisations as well, and just to try and really get it out there. And then on the back of it, I usually end up doing a bit of, I'm often contacted by trans people. I'm sure you are as well. When you put your head above the parapet, and you do legal stuff, other trans people contact you, and you just give them a bit of support as they go, as and when they need it. So I just thought I can just do a bit of good with it, and I thought it'd be a great opportunity to come along to True Inclusion, just to talk with some like-minded people.
A bit of visibility. I always say that if trans people are effectively 1% or 1 in 100 of the population, then we should be represented in those proportions. And it's not representative for being trans; it's representative for being a great businesswoman, a great businessman, or who happens to be trans. And that's my passion.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. Yeah. And it's just
sorry, carry on.
It's just normalising it, isn't it? It's just we're not just some like people completely out of the ordinary.
A sideshow, or it's not really. Yeah. We're not exhibits in a zoo or anything. We're just people are getting on with their lives, doing stuff. Yeah.
And the point I always get across to people is that although I have a different name and I look different now, I'm exactly the same person I've always been. Got the same skills, the same integrity, the same sense of humour, however warped that is. But I'm just far, far happier. And I have cravings for chocolate now.
And you cry at films more often.
Oh God, yeah. I cried at a film the other day.
Yeah, I like what it's Charlie Martin, the Le Mans driver, isn't it? I love what she said, that her performance has actually increased as a racing driver because she's got less baggage going on in her head. She's got less things that she's kind of double thinking, and she's now unlocked her passion, her belief in herself. Absolutely. And that's enabled her to go forward. I feel exactly the same, that I've gone from being someone who was okay, I wasn't underachieving, but I was not overachieving. And now I kind of feel that someone's just pushed me off the side of it. I'm going down this slope, but I just accelerating. Life is fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing amazing work, Joe. So, but hats off to you there.
It's just I'm just hanging on to the sled. It's almost like a skeleton bob. I'm going. Sometimes it's quite scary. Just see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I'm really fired up about it as well, and I think there's a few of us doing this, but I think the more that can do it, the better, because we just really need to. I
agree. We should be collaborating, working together. I always say that D&I is not a competitive sport. It's about collaborating, because the objective for all of us is everybody feels included, everybody wins. That's the kind of objective, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. And I think I think the demand is there. People need to.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Definitely, yeah, for sure. Okay, so there we are. We've had a good chat there. How do people get hold of you? I mean, what's the best way to contact you if they want to link in or get to your website?
Okay, well, the website is www.cool2BTrans.co.uk. So that's cool, so COOL, and then the number 2, the letter B, then trans with an S.co.uk. And then all the contact details are on there and everything. That's probably the best way.
So you're happy to connect on LinkedIn and follow each other on Twitter, that sort of stuff, yeah?
Really, the more stuff. All of that. Just
So track you down, stalk you, follow you, interact, and have a chat, yeah?
I'm happy to be stalked.
Brilliant. Well, it's been fantastic speaking to you, and I can't wait to meet you in person on Tuesday. And I'm sure all of the other guest delegates will be pleased to meet you as well. So, yeah, see you Tuesday. Thank you very much.
See you on Tuesday. Yeah, thanks, Joe.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.